Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chaos, and I'm bringing you Idra versus Boxer. This is the final game of MLG Orlando in the group stages for day one. And the first map here is Shakuris Plateau. In the top right spawn is Idra, and in the bottom left position is Slayer's Boxer. Now, this is a pretty epic match to end the day one pool play on. Boxer, as of lately, has the up on Idra. I believe at the previous time they met, Boxer did beat Idra 2-0. But really, this is the new and improved Idra, who's been really stomping nerds so heavily in the last couple of games I've seen. As of this tournament, he has beat his last two opponents 2-1 and 2-0. And really, Idra took down I think it was a Intel Extreme Masters, China, taking out Alfie Tai in the ending. But really, his game with Puma was so insane. Puma was like such a heavy favorite in that matchup, and he beat Puma 3-0. So I was so impressed with Idra's Zerg vs Terra in play. We are seeing Idra open hatch first, and we see Boxer playing pretty straight up. Usually Boxer tends to try to cheese Idra and try to put him on tilt early. And Idra just loves to get his economy. Obviously you don't have to tell too many tales about Idra. His backbone's always been strong macro play and like fantastic mechanics. And players that are able to exploit him or try to do any kind of cheesy all-ins and stuff are the players that tend to have some success. But Idra's been showing an ability to be able to handle the cheese better and really do some more riskier plays himself. Because like part of the issue Idra had early on was people were able to get him to tilt very easily just because he would always play the same macro style, try to get on 3 bases, get 80 drones, and it was so typical. But now Idra kind of throws in all-ins. He does some distinct different kind of plays. Now we do have a factory going down in a reactor, so we're going to see a pretty cookie-cutter reactor Hellion build out of Boxer here. And this is not going to be something that Idra hasn't seen. But obviously Idra got the scout there, and we have a command center going down for Boxer. So a Hellion expand, such a common Terran vs Zerg build. And the Hellions don't even have to do great damage since the expansion's being taken straight behind it. Essentially, the Hellions try to take out a few drones if possible. They give you map control. And Idra is not a player who likes to get early speed, so he won't be able to regain map control too easy. But that Spine Crawler going down is so smart. And Idra actually getting a pretty clutch scout here, seeing everything that's going on, seeing the command center production, and seeing how the structures are in place. But even before that, he had that Spine Crawler in production, which it's very easy to hold the Hellions off with the Spine Crawler and just pulling your 2 queens into the fray. So far, Idra playing very solid, and we're going to see how Idra decides to transition. This is the kind of point in the game where the Zerg needs to make a decision of how they want to play this out. Do they want to go in for it all in? Do they want to tech very quickly? Do you want to take a quick third? Like, you have these options on the table. All he has to do really is just clear off these Hellions, but right now Idra's just favoring a ton of drones and just trying to get his economy so strong. And we are seeing a stim research has started for Boxer. So that might be a hint that we might be seeing a bio-style army with some probably drop play leading into the mid-game. A couple more barracks are going down for Boxer at this point, and it looks like Idra's response is to get his lair started and an Evo chamber on the way. So this could be pretty smart for Idra, and we'll see. I think Infestors will probably be the strong move to do here. And Idra is starting to lay some creep tumors down and get these bases connected back up. And Boxer just waiting inside the natural and just watching out, trying to see any timing for the third. Because if he doesn't see the third, he can already like rule off one possibility and knows it's either going to be tech or like a big swell of units. And he's just waiting to see what's happening. And a Baneling Nest is going down. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Idra throw down like a Spire. Because usually Idra, when he throws Baneling Nest down like this, he usually goes for like a Muta Baneling Ling kind of composition. But these Hellions so far just giving a map control. They aren't doing a whole lot of pressure right now. And Idra is getting +1 attacks done on these Hellions. So Idra's kind of contained here. So we're gonna have to see how he's gonna break this. And sure enough, the Spire is going down. So the choice is gonna be Mutalisks, which can be very strong on this map. It depends on how diligent the Terran player is at building turrets, and if he decides to get early thirds. But it looks like Boxer is the one deciding to expand now. He's building his command center, and he'll be taking a earlier third. Idra is deciding to go with a macro hatch one of his bases, so he'll be able to start pooling up some extra larvae, and then when he gets to that position where he can get on 3 bases, he'll be able to have a ton of production. We are seeing Baneling speed researched, which is smart because there's just so many Marines on the map, and Idra does need an answer. Now we're seeing Boxer coming across the map with a ton of Marines, so I'm not sure if he's actually going to try to make an attack on that, because he's still pretty blind as to what's going on in Idra's base, and he does have 2 medevacs here, so I don't know if he'll load up or if he's just going to try the pressure at the door here. The other option Boxer has here, though, is he could medevac to the side and then poke with the Hellions to the front. Really, Idra can only commit at one spot here. And the scan is going down, so he's just clearing off creep tumors for now and just limiting this creep spread. 8 Mutalisks are on the way, though, and +1 attacks for the Mutas has started research. And Boxer is just starting to get some turrets now, and +1 attacks for the Marines are on the way as well. The army's supply are equal at this point, so whoever gets this engagement will be pretty clutch. And oh my god, the Marines pretty effective at dodging these Banelings, but it doesn't really matter. Idra will clean up all these Marines and wipe out all the medevacs. So Idra off to a very solid early victory there. With that play there, he'll be able to keep Boxer on 2 bases, but there are turrets in place to try to eliminate some of the harass that can happen. And he's just got to be very careful not to run into any of these Marines. And Idra behind this is just trying to get his Muta count up and get his very late third established at this point. Might even find him decide to go with it for a quick 4th since he has been delayed so long, but we'll have to see what happens. Another Evo chamber on the way, so he wants to go with like double ups at this point. And look at that, another 8 drones just put in the production, and Idra is just getting so much economy here. But the game is still very close at this point. There is only a 9 supply gap, and a factory is going down for Boxer, so you'll be up to 2 factories productions. You'll start to be able to build a lot of tanks. And 7 Banelings on the way. And Idra just trying to keep map control with all these mutas, and Boxer's kind of haphazardly in the middle of the map. Siege is about to finish, but one advantage Boxer did have is since he was up close and personal for so long, the creep spread for Idra kind of suffered because of that. And Idra is actually, looks like he might be moving in for the kill here and wanting to trade armies again. Oh my god, and great shot for Boxer, actually taking out about 5 Banelings there. And good shot by Boxer. That was a clutch victory he needed there. And he actually managed to hit all those Banelings, didn't worry about any of the Zerglings, and if he didn't get that hit, he would have been in a pretty dire position. But Idra moving in, trying to harass this third, but so many Marines already there. And this game is still super even. Look at all those Marines though. Idra building a ton of Zerglings behind this, and getting +2 attacks, and started the carapace for it as well. A solid 4th base is on the way for Idra. So Idra is only up about 10 supply, but look at all these missile towers in Boxer's main. He's pretty safe here. Looks like Idra is looking to push on it anyways. At some point here, we're going to see Boxer wanting to get a Thor or two to help deal with this advancing Muta count. Now Boxer having to pull back some Marines, but he's pushing the front at the same time. So he might be trying to segregate this 3rd and 4th from the natural in the main here. The Mutas have come back though. Now the key for Idra here is going to be trying to control these siege tank numbers. He needs to really catch these tanks out of position. Boxer has been pretty solid. Oh my god, he's losing all the Banelings again. And Idra is looking, he's starting to actually trade with all the tanks go, but there's so many Marines left on the map. And really, Idra's got to be so careful here, because those Mutas will not trade that well with those Mutas. Banelings are morphing, but it's going to be so close. And wow, Boxer had a chance to kill all those Banelings, but pulling back instead. And this might actually give Idra a chance to stay in this game here. Look at the spread on the Marines though. Boxer doing a great job preparing for these Mutas. Losing some Mutas needlessly though. Now Boxer's starting to get a decent contain here. Look at all these Marines. Idra moving in with the Banelings, actually getting some fantastic hits for Idra. And wow, that was incredible. And it looks like Idra might clean this up, and look at all those Mutas moving in, all the tanks are gone, all the Marines taken out, and Idra up almost 40 food here. He is in fantastic shape, 7 more Mutas on the way. Idra is in a very dominant position now, and he's warping in more Banelings behind it. And now Idra is going to have a lot of control in this late game stage, and he's going to start to be able to just start forcing down these missile towers. There's not going to be a lot of Marines behind it. Look at Boxer forced to pull all his Marines back. Now, Boxer's in a tough position because now he's starting to have to rebuild the tank count from scratch, and Idra just has to make one decision. What kind of composition does he want for this kind of late game? Is he going to go with Broodlords, or in this case, looks like an Infestation Pit is on the way. Because Ultras or Broodlords are really the favored units against Terror in late game. And it'd be good to see Idra make a decision to go for one of them here. But he may be feeling very confident just on this Ling Baneling Muta composition. And we have level 2 armor going down for the ground army. And picking off another Muta for Boxer. Now, Idra just got to be careful that he doesn't let Boxer back in here, because he's got a very solid lead here. He's on 4 bases. He just needs to take a 5th base here at some point. And we do have the Hive on the way. And Boxer has finally got his first Thor on the map, which this is going to be key for trying to zone out these Hydras and hopefully catch them out of position. And it looks like Idra is going on to a 5th base and just adding so many more Mutas. Now, Idra's just got to be careful, because I've seen games where he's had this huge Muta count and just got caught out of position with Marines in a bad stim. But look at these Mutas. He's at around 40 Mutalisks here. And that Thor is getting close. He's got to be careful, because that Thor has a ton of range on that missile, and you don't want to have half your Mutas go in the red because of it. So I think he's got to start transitioning out of these Mutas at this point. So the Infestor's going to be really strong, because the Fungal Growth against this largely Marine army is going to be so strong. And really, the Fungals will hold them in place, and then the Banelings can roll in behind and just smoke them. And Spine Crawlers are starting to go down in the middle. Idra's starting to utilize some of these extra drones that Idra has created. And Idra's starting to pool some minerals now, because he's almost max. And we finally have that Greater Spire on the way, so Broodlords will be the answer here. And look at Idra just quickly taking out some of the gas geysers. And every time this happens, it just kind of sets Boxer back a little bit more. Because Boxer needs a lot of gas for these units that are going to trade here. Thors take a lot of gas, tanks are very gas heavy, and trying to get these level 3 upgrades. We do have a move out for Boxer here, and this is probably going to be do or die. He needs to inflict a lot of damage here. And Boxer has come back within about 20 food of Idra here, but you would think Idra would have the better tech. These infestors gotta get the great fungals here, and then Idra for sure will have this game rocked. There's only about 6 tanks on the map. And here we go, we might get a good fungal right there. Oh, they pull back just in time. Idra is just ready to pounce here. And there's just that one Thor, which is making Idra wanting the magic box set. Tanks are unsieged though, so Idra does have a window here, and he gets a good fungal. And great fungals on all the Marines. And wow, the Banelings will roll in pretty soon here. A lot of those Marines got hurt pretty good. Oh my god, he doesn't want to lose all those Overlords, though. But look at all those Banelings roll down, and Idra getting fantastic Baneling kills, and these Marines are going to be able to clean up the rest of this pretty easily, and this might be game right here, because now all these mutas are going to be uncontested, and really just this one Thor remains, and it will go down, and Idra really gearing up here, and showing so much force. He should be able to take this game any second, and really the Muta's got to move across, because Boxer's still stuck on only 3 bases, and there are even Broodlords on the map, so I don't know what Boxer can do, but he looks good as dead. Most players probably would have GG'd at that point. But Boxer not wanting to give up. He's trying to get that Planetary Fortress up at that 4th base position, but I don't know how he's going to hold it. The Broodlords and Adrenal Gland research has started, and we're going to see even an Ultralisk Cavern on the way. So Idra not putting the brakes on at all. The pressure is on, and these Broodlords are going to start breaking this heavily fortified 3rd, and there's nothing really that Boxer can do to contest this. He's got a handful of tanks and some Marines, and he's got to really invest it all just to watch his 4th. Now that 4th is very oversaturated, but it's the only mining base that he has at this point. And look at all those Zerglings pouring in, just eating up all those SCVs. And really the GG is just around the corner here. Idra is just in such strong shape here. These Broodlords are in great position. They're just chewing away. And essentially the Broodlords make the tanks have to unsiege, or otherwise you're just going to lose them all. There's no Vikings even on the map, and Adrenal Glands are about to finish, so these Zerglings are going to, in a second, turn into really effective killing machines. And Infestors get a great fungal, and those Marines have no medevac support. Look at all those Marines just die right there. And 2 Ultras about to pop as well. And this is just really pain for Boxer to handle here. Look at all those tanks out of position. Boxer trying to do a drop here. It's kind of a joke. He might take the infestation pit, but really Idra, I'm surprised he even pulls back here and not just go for the kill. But Idra has essentially doubled Boxer in food here, so he's probably just letting these Ultras get in position, and he should go for the kill. Adrenal Glands have finished, and the tanks have sieged up, but really with that Ultra in the mix, he'll be able to break right through. And really, Chitinous Plating is almost finished for these Ultras, so they're going to have huge armor. +3 attacks almost done, +3 armor. Idra is really just on a mission in this game. But I don't see how Boxer can even come back here. Idra at 190 food, and Boxer's at 75. And a drop gets intercepted. Idra just playing pretty casually here, not overcommitting, just shutting down expansions, and just being so methodical in his approach here. Game almost 30 minutes long here. And really, this is the last mining base that Boxer has, and really, all the SCVs are starting to get fungal, the Ultras are in, and really, the last base of Boxer goes down, and GG, Idra takes game 1.